You're about to enjoy an It Takes Three Network podcast.
True love and betrayal. Revenge and more revenge. A heroine with an impossible goal. If only Mozart had lived on the Upper East Side. But you can keep your magic flute, Amadeus. All this queen wants is a golden ticket to Yale. Hi, everyone. Wow, happy Thursday. Welcome back to another remote episode of Three Gossip Girls, a Gossip Girl podcast. I'm Liz.
I'm Michelle.
And tonight we had an amazing experience doing a Netflix party with all of our patrons. It was so much fun. We watched season 2, episode 16, You've Got Yale. Wasn't that fun, Mitch?
Oh my gosh, it was so fun. The whole time I was just smiling because it reminded me of our Tree Hill Talk days when we used to do the live stream and the live watches. It was just great.
Same.
So
I
fun.
felt the exact same way. I was telling Michelle, like, I had a smile from ear to ear the entire time. It was a lot of fun, and I hope that you guys enjoyed. This was a really good episode, I think, to watch as a community. It's definitely a turning point in the show, so I'm excited to talk about it. As I said, it was season 2, episode 16, You've Got Yale. Original air date January 19th of 2009. So this is actually 2 weeks later from the episode we watched last week.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Written by Joshua Safran and directed by Janice Cook. Summary for this episode. It's that time of year when the students find out who is and isn't worthy of early admission to Yale University. Serena bonds with her new teacher, Rachel Carr, who quickly becomes an enemy of Blair's. Meanwhile, Chuck pairs up with an unlikely ally in his war with Jack over Bass Industries, while Nate and Vanessa have a romantic night at the opera. That sure is a big tongue twister, but it pretty much sums up everything that's going on in this episode. Before we start talking about it, I posted on Instagram that I wanted everyone to send us pictures of what they were drinking tonight. I paired this episode with an ale, a Yale ale.
Yale ale.
Because I remember when I went through all of the titles, and for some reason when I was researching Yale, it came up that they're big into beer, like the town, I guess. Like, I don't know where I got that from. But also, like, kids drink beer at college. So I was like, all right, I feel like this works.
Of course it works.
So,
college kids, beer,
yeah, college
ale.
kid, beers, and, Yale. So I titled it Yale Ale. And if you guys drank, some of you sent us pictures. So I'm going to post them all on Instagram and Twitter when we post the Glassful of Gossip.
Yes, because you let me know ahead of time because I checked in. I was like, okay, what are we drinking tonight? I want to see if I'm able to partake on my own. And when you said the ale, I was like, great. So I grabbed a Cigar City Brewing Company beer, a Citra Pale Ale.
How was it?
It's very good. I'm still drinking it right now because I'm very slow at drinking beer.
Well,
Depending on the night. I was taking I know, especially with the Netflix party, I'm taking my notes. I'm trying to keep up with the chat. I'm trying to take the episode in. I'm like, oh my God, I have half a beer here waiting for me.
It's so true. I was thinking about you the whole time because you were very active in the chat, which I truly appreciate. But I was like, oh my God, how is she watching and absorbing and taking notes and in the chat and drinking beer at the same time?
She's a woman of many talents.
You are very talented, Michelle.
Thank you.
So we'll get into the episode. We start off at the Waldorfs. It's the morning of Yale Day, which is the day that pretty much every student, I don't know if it's just Constance or it's the students across the, world get their acceptances or denials to Yale. Blair comes downstairs to find her father, Harold, and partner, Roman, with Dorota.
Roman.
Yeah, I know. I love Roman. And they're all in their Yale apparel. And they set up this spread of all like blue themed breakfast things. And they surprise her with a new bulldog who is the most precious thing ever. I have a really soft spot for bulldogs. So
I do too. And
so
his name
cute.
is Handsome Dan.
Handsome Dan. But of course she drops the Dan part of the name and decides to keep the dog because she would never name her dog after, Padge. It's just not going to happen.
Ew.
Yeah. So Harold mentions that the opera is tonight. He asks Blair if Chuck is going to make an appearance with her, and she sums it up to that Chuck is dead to her and she doesn't want to talk about him anymore. So we know where that's going.
Yes, and it was funny. I think it was either her father or mom. Maybe it was her father who said, "Oh, Chuck loves a tragedy."
Totally. That was Harold.
That was Harold. So how did her dad just assume that Blair and Chuck were on good terms or seeing each other?
Yeah, I don't know. I think maybe she, as children do, tell their parents bits and pieces of things that are going on in their lives. And so he just assumed maybe things were on the up for them. But as we know, as the audience, she threw the flowers at his face last episode. So they're not together.
Yeah. And I also just want to point out, I truly appreciate that her father and Ramon were here for this day.
Yes, because Harold is an alumni, and he does mention, too, that he wrote a letter to the Dean of Admissions, I guess, a friendly reminder, hey, my daughter's applying here. I'm an alumni, so what can you do for her? But as we see later on, I don't think that made a difference.
Right. Yeah.
It's also morning at the Vanderwoodsons. Dan comes with coffee for him and Serena. My immediate reaction when I watched this episode, and I've mentioned it in the chat, I've watched this episode. This will be my third time tonight watching it. The first time I watched it, when Dan and Serena kissed, I literally screamed out loud, "Ew!" Gut reaction. Don't know why that was. Isn't that terrible?
No, it's just how you're truly feeling.
Yeah, I was like, oh, it's been a while since they've been together and on. So me seeing that again, I was like, oh, I don't know why it really bugged me. Sorry, Michael. I know you are a big fan of them. But Dan is talking about Yale Day, and he's worried he won't be accepted. Serena's also worried, but not because she won't be accepted, but the fact that if she gets accepted and Blair doesn't, how detrimental this is going to be for their friendship and for, Serena going on in her life, because Blair will probably kill her.
Yeah, because Serena applied for all the wrong reasons, and the only reason this school wants her is because she's a socialite in her name.
Because of her social status. So she's worried about that. They discuss how everything's going to be fine, even though the love child thing is still in the picture. It's kind of sort of past at this point. And Serena's complimenting their parents on trying to keep it under wraps. And of course, they come downstairs after Rufus has spent the night at the Vanderwoodsons. And so the kids are super awkward. The parents are not so awkward. They're kind of okay with this. And Lily comes out and says, I think we could be together now. The kids know about it. Why shouldn't the world know about it? So she invites Rufus to go to the opera, which he's less than thrilled about because this seems like not his cup of tea. He doesn't want to be around these people. He doesn't know anything about the opera. And at this point, Dan and Serena leave to go to school. And Lily says, hey, this will be a good experience for us. We're going to come out to the public and debut as a couple. And so persuades Rufus to come out with her. What do you think about that?
Right. Well, this opera, is this she said this is the event
charity
of the season, and it is a charity event, right?
I don't know how it is, but that's what they're calling it.
Oh, okay. Yeah, because I was like, oh, interesting. I was expecting it to be something different when we arrived there, to be more of an event, but yeah, I guess maybe the ticket sales go to charity or what have you. I have to say, I give props to Lily for being so confident, and she's just like, fuck this, I'm over all the drama, I'm moved on, my heart is ready to be with my man in public.
Yeah.
And I love how she says to the kids, why does this have to be awkward? I can't even believe I thought this would be awkward.
Right. So she doesn't care what anyone thinks. Truly, she only cared about what her children thought. And she says, hey, if my children are okay and dealing with this, then the public, then I don't care about anyone else. Yeah. And so they're going to go to the opera and make their debut together, which is great. At the palace in the morning, Chuck is doing everything possible to push Jack out of being the head of Bass Industries. He's going to lengths. I was cracking up. But first, when he calls and says that he wants schoolgirls really young, you think that I initially was like, oh, Chuck wants that. He's gross. But no, he's trying to do his best attempt at catching Jack in some sort of scandal. Yeah. to push him out. And so Jack overhears this and catches on to his antics rather quickly and asks Chuck if he's going to the opera, in which he reminds him that even though he doesn't own the company anymore, he's still the face of their company. And so he must attend regardless, but he won't be sitting with them. He'll be sitting, wherever in the nosebleed section.
Right. Do you hear Soli meowing, by the way?
I don't.
Okay, perfect, because she's meowing nonstop.
Oh, I don't.
Sorry to
I wish I
you.
did, actually.
Okay,
then later on, to sum this part up, Chuck goes to visit Lily while she's picking out a dress for the opera. He asks her for her help in taking down Jack. During this time, Lily wants Chuck to move back in with her and the family, in which he declines, of course. He's not ready for that. He just wants her help and nothing more. She is only really worried about Chuck. It's really sweet. She's like, I don't really care about the company. I just want your well-being. I want you to be okay. And of course, I'll help you in any way I can. And so she agrees to talk to the board and see what they can do, but only if Chuck agrees to stop the blackballing with Jack and the bad attempts to get him out, of course. She's like, let's just do this like the clean way.
Right. And I love that Lily is there to help him.
Yeah, me too. I love, love, love this pairing, and we'll get into it more as the episode develops. But I love in the chat, we're like, we love when Lily calls him Charles. She's the only one in the world who calls him Charles. And just the way it rolls off her tongue, and she's just so nurturing to him because she sees that he's a kid in trouble and also partly responsible for him at one point. So she does everything she can for him. And I love this relationship.
Yeah. And the thing is about her is it's coming from a place of such good heart and not obligation. She doesn't have to do any of this,
right.
But she genuinely wants to do it and help him.
Yeah. Later on, we go to school where Serena and Dan are walking. She introduces Dan to Rachel Carr, who is her favorite new Shakespeare teacher.
This is such a weird storyline. This chick looks like she's 12 years old.
I know, she looks younger than most of the cast.
Go ahead, sorry.
Yeah,
I'm like, I just need to take a moment to just discuss with you.
No, we all need a moment for this because it's a out of left field storyline that they bring into this season. So
yes.
We'll see how that goes. But she's new to New York City, and the kids are actually suggesting places that she should go. And of course, Serena suggests the Palace lobby because you can like hang out and have like a cool drink there. And then Dan suggests heading over to Brooklyn to see his dad's gallery / cafe. And she's like, oh, okay, yeah, maybe sometime I'll do that. Outside, Blair has her minions constantly refreshing her email while looking for the acceptance from Yale. And it's funny because Nellie Yuki is not refreshing for Blair. She's refreshing for herself because she also applied, in which, Blair ignores and said, of course, she's not going to get in.
Yeah.
And while they're refreshing, Serena, then her phone goes off stating that she gets into Yale. And at that moment, Blair gets waitlisted, which she's absolutely devastated about. And she's like, oh my God, get the headmistress now.
I also love when the messages are coming in. She's like, oh, wait, I actually can't read this because the font's too small.
But Nellie's like, here, it's in big, bold letters, waitlisted. Poor Blair. Inside, we have Pate, which they are talking about the opera and if they're going. And then, Serena's bringing Dan. And so Nate was saying how he would like to invite Vanessa to come. Also, his family box is available and he would love for her to see the opera through their eyes. And as they're talking, Dan's phone goes off and he gets this email, shockingly, but of course they cut it to the next scene. After his email, Dan runs up to Serena and he say that he gets into Yale, in which Serena then lies because of Blair saying that she got waitlisted just like Blair. And Padge is like, oh, okay. But he's like, you're fine. We're going to be fine. So then Blair, as we said, Blair yells at the minions, go get the headmistress. We have a meeting with the headmistress where she said she spoke with Dean Barabee that morning and told her that they have invited a student to join the class, and if that student declines, then Blair will get the next spot.
Yeah,
and
of
so
course
she assumes it's Dan.
It's Padge. Yeah.
Yes, because right in front of Blair is when Dan told Serena he got in, so Blair knows that Dan got in. However, she still doesn't know that Serena has. And so Blair tells Queller, like, look, this kid is not going to give up his acceptance. It's like I think she said it's like a lunch lady winning the lotto ticket.
Yeah,
like they're never going to give that up. And so Queller responds that she actually wasn't speaking about Dan, and not to worry because most of all the students that go to Constance that get waitlisted get in regardless of because of their, the status and their grades. So not to worry. And of course, Blair has to be shoved out of her office because she's so nervous and wanting to know who this kid is.
Yeah, of course. I'd want to know too.
Right? And then later on, she thinks it's Nelly Yuki, which we'll get into. Elsewhere, Serena confides in her new buddy, Miss Carr, about getting in. And Miss Carr thinks that Serena should do what's right for her. And even though she said it kind of pains her to tell a student to deny an acceptance to a college, if it's not the right college for you, then there's no sense of you choosing to go to that school. And so Blair then runs up to Serena and she telling Serena that she thinks that it's Nelly Yuki. And this part makes me laugh because she sees Rachel and she's like, oh, hello.
Yeah, the cold shoulder, the cold Blair.
Yeah, she's like, I'm in the middle of this conversation. Can you please walk away? But yet Miss Carr is still there. So she's like, oh, hello. And she tells Serena that she thinks it's Nelly. And then Serena does some more lying, stating that, why would Yale accept her only for her social status? And Blair was kind of like praising Yale for not accepting Serena because of this. And you can tell like Serena's lying and she has to like keep up appearances with Blair because she doesn't want to upset her. And as soon as Blair looks at her paper, she immediately is like, I need to go, because Miss Carr gives her a piece of paper stating that, oh, she wasn't in class this morning. Here's your paper. And little does Blair know it's a B on her paper, which Blair doesn't get Bs.
Yeah, no, that's a huge no.
After that, Blair confronts Rachel about the B, and she claims that seniors are giving a break, and it's always been that way at Constance, and maybe you're new here, but Queller would not hear of you not giving me a good grade in the last semester of my high school experience. And Rachel rebuttals and says, well, you should have done better. I'm not going to higher your grade just for that fact. You should have done better on this. And so Blair is like, oh, it's on.
I'm like, this is typical. Of course, Blair is going to rebuttal, but also go teacher, because no, the kid's not in charge.
Right, exactly. Which Blair's always used to being in charge. Mm-hmm. And so Blair's so upset by this, she runs over to cry on Serena's shoulder, stating that because of this, she won't get into Yale. And she tells Serena that this is the only school she applied to. Yikes.
Yeah, no backup.
Not good. So after that, Serena she says she has to go make a call. Right before that, actually, Serena does get a call from the dean wanting to issue a press release on her acceptance, in which she's so overwhelmed about that she has to hang up. Later on, after hearing about Blair not potentially getting in, this is when she goes to make the call to, I guess, Dean Barabee to deny her acceptance.
Right.
After that, the minions and Blair are scheming up a plan to take down Miss Carr. Dan and Serena are talking about Yale together, and Serena gets distracted by the look on Blair's face because, as a best friend, when they're scheming. So she goes over and she calls her out on the plan, knowing that she's going to hurt Miss Carr. And Serena says, look, you can cancel your plans on whatever you're going to do to Carr because I got in, but I denied my acceptance and you're going to get the next spot. You should hear any hour now. And so Blair is surprised and states that she shouldn't have given up her spot just for Blair. And Dan is also surprised because he didn't know that Serena got into Yale, and now she's deferring her acceptance and when they had a plan to go there together. So everyone is crazed by this news that Serena got in, but now she declined. So
yeah, because Blair first off tells the minions cancel the Nelly Yuki plan.
Yes, love that. Cancel Nelly Yuki.
They're gonna take her down, but also she's like, "Come on, Serena, please don't tell me that you turned down Yale for me because I wouldn't even do that."
Right, and Serena goes in saying, "I didn't turn it down for you. I mean, that was a part of it, but also I don't think Yale was going to be the good fit for me." Right. And so Dan gets upset and he leaves and walks away, and they're left to talk about this later on. At Bass Industries, Lily meets with Pete Holmberg, who is on the board at Bass Industries, and he tells her pretty much all the things that we already know about the Guardian taking ownership, and unfortunately, that's who gets the company, and he wishes it was different, but Chuck pretty much left him no choice. And as they're talking, Jack then enters the room, and he's super creepy, trying to hit on Lily, but also belittling her at the same time, in which she hands him a handkerchief because he's got Coke residue on his nose and he's sniffling. Disgusting. Yeah. After he takes the handkerchief, he tells her that the board wouldn't dare get rid of him because he's much more preferable over a woman with her reputation.
Yeah.
Ouch.
Low
and
blow.
So she just looks at him and she leaves because what do you say to that? To such scum. He's just disgusting. At this point, at the Vanderwoodsons, Lily then tells Chuck that she wants to play dirty. She's like, no, Jack pissed me off. I want to play dirty, yet not illegal, but still dirty. And while they're discussing, she gets a call from Rufus, in which, of course, upsets Chuck. And he tells Lily that she shouldn't disrespect Bart like that, and she's so selfish, and she's always been that way. Her kids and his father are an example of that. And you can just tell at this point, she's not even saying anything. She's kind of actually nodding her head and hearing Chuck like, oh, okay, I understand where this is coming from. I felt like she totally owned it, even though she didn't say anything.
No,
she's like, all right.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And honestly, for Chuck to even allow himself to get help through Lily is a big step in its own. And then to hear that she's talking to the man who ultimately she was having an affair with, like a super heart love affair against his father. So to hear that on the phone and see it in the flesh is also hurtful.
Definitely. Yeah. So I think she understood that and she took it like a champ. Mm-hmm. Elsewhere, we have Natessa taking a walk and they're discussing the opera. And before they do, Vanessa says that she actually got them something. And so she bought tickets to the opera, in the nosebleed section. And so, of course, Nate sees how Vanessa is so proud of this. He decides he's going to put his tickets in his pocket and not bring them up, even though his seats are obviously much more favorable. But, he doesn't want to mess up anything.
Yeah, and she also says, or I don't know, I don't remember who had the conversation. Maybe it was Nate, or maybe she actually says to Nate of, oh, ever since you got your money back, you've been taking me out on all these nice dates and I want to treat you.
Right. So, yes, this was a scene that she does say that to him. And Nate does say something to Dan in the beginning of the episode, like, ever since I got my money back, I've been able to do much more with Vanessa. And so I guess, it does make her feel a little bit uncomfortable that she can't really reciprocate any of these extravagant plans that they have. And so he sees that she's so excited about this that he can't bring it to himself, obviously to say anything to her.
Sure, yeah.
We get a funny scene at the loft after this. Eric is trying to show Rufus how you behave at the opera, and he acts like he knows what he's talking about, and it was just really funny. And Jenny's like, Dad, listen, you don't have to try to impress these people. Just be yourself. And he's like, well, no, actually, I really care about Lily. And if this is important to her, then I want to do the right thing by her. And so both kids I thought that I just thought that this was really sweet because he just wants to do anything possible to make Lily happy. And I think that, sweet. Of course, Eric sees that, and then Jenny sees that as well. So I think that was really sweet.
No, it was. It was a good moment.
Yeah. Later on at the Waldorfs, Blair is with Isabel and Penelope. They're playing good cop, bad cop, or angel versus devil. And, of course, Penelope's the devil, like she always is. Ugh. And she is so convincing that she makes Blair choose to actually not take the high road, even though Serena asked her not to do anything. But she ends up calling Miss Carr, inviting her to dinner with her family, inviting her to the opera to make amends. And, of course, she has no intentions of actually meeting her there. So they're setting her up to be humiliated. We go to the opera, and Rufus and Lily are talking about how great it is that Serena's going to go to Brown and Dan's going to go to Yale, and it's just a road trip, and they're going to take Eric and Jenny and get ice cream and blah, blah, blah. And Dan and Serena are so uncomfortable. They're like, please stop talking. We don't want to be like lumped together at all times. And so they leave, and Dan runs away to go see Vanessa and Nate, and which he kind of sort of spills the beans about Nate having box tickets. And Vanessa's like, wait, what's happening here? And so they go and sit at Vanessa's tickets because, of course, Vanessa doesn't want to use Nate's money or any social status at the opera. And this lady they end up sitting next to, Michelle's like, this is me.
This is me, though.
But your suckle would not be at the bottom of your pocketbook collecting dust, not even wrapped. It wasn't even wrapped.
It wouldn't be the one I offer you.
Exactly, that too.
The one I eat, but I wouldn't offer you guys a dirty
exactly.
suckle.
And so the lady asked Vanessa if she wants the hard candy. Vanessa says no, obviously, because it was from the bottom of her bag. And so this lady starts hacking up a lung with all this mucus, and so Nate and Vanessa think this is hysterical because of course this would happen to them.
Of course.
And at that point, even before that, Nate was joking, kind of like, I don't know, making fun of Vanessa a little bit. Oh, we need binoculars. Are you sure you're not going to get a nosebleed in this section? Like saying shit to make her feel bad, and I would not have like been okay with that. I don't know.
I think he wasn't being malicious about it. He was just being like, oh, look at these seats we're in, like it's kind of passive, and I don't think he meant anything by it.
Yeah, he was just being goofy, but for some reason it didn't sit right with me at the first time watching it. But to sum up them, they end up going to Nate's box, making out, and that's it for really what happens with them.
So was she pretty much got over it?
She got over the fact that he was using the box, like, for
like, she obviously was being prideful of, okay, I planned this date for us, and I used my money for these tickets. And then did she finally was like, fine, we'll go to your seats?
They don't show that, but they also, when they show them actually sitting in Nate's family's box, she says, I hate winning. I hate losing.
Yeah.
And so I guess that was her way of, like, sucking it up and saying like, all right, these seats are better. And then Nate does say, no, the perks of the boxes. And they make out. And honestly, that's the end of their story in this episode. Yeah. Elsewhere, Rufus and Lily run into Jack and Pauletta, who, as we know, was the rep from Bass Industries that we saw Bart with a couple of times. And Jack and Lily have a tiff as they enter the theater, stating that Pauletta should watch out for Jack, and Jack states that Lily and Rufus should have second guessed coming together, and they, have words with each other. Then Rufus and Lily run into the Bass family lawyer, and as they're talking, this triggers an idea in Lily's head, and at first you don't know what this idea is, but she says, I have to go find Charles, like, keep talking about the opera. And of course, Rufus doesn't know what to talk about at the opera.
He thinks he's at the opera about, I couldn't remember the whole title.
Something flute. Yeah.
But that turned out it's a kid's opera.
Right. So Eric prepped him for the wrong opera.
Yeah.
But it didn't even end up mattering anyway. So Lily goes to find Chuck to tell him that she has an idea and a solution to get Jack out of the picture, she states that this paperwork that their lawyer was referring to was actually paperwork for Bart to adopt legally Serena and Eric, and for Lily to illegally adopt Chuck. And she says, so if you do this, if you sign these papers, then I become your actual legal guardian, and then therefore I own Bass Industries. And so Chuck, of course, takes the pen right away and decides to sign. And as he's doing that, Jack comes over, and this pisses him off because he says, oh, you can't sign anything without my consent or me being here. And he's like, well, that's over now because Lily is now my legal guardian, which ticks off Jack tremendously.
Yeah.
Dan then finds Serena sitting by herself on the couch, and she's explaining to him that she didn't really figure it out until this day that Brown was a better fit for her. And, she's sorry that she didn't really tell him to begin with. And they discuss their future of their relationship while comparing it to the future of Rufus and Lily's relationship. And they decide that the best option is just to let everything happen on its own. And they agree that their parents' relationship probably won't last. And they decide to walk off together hand in hand, in which they bump into their parents having a moment in the middle of the staircase.
I felt that the conversation with Padge and Serena, and maybe I'm just being cold, was stupid.
Well, I mean, it's like we've done this so many times already.
Maybe it was their tone, or just like, oh, I guess, it'll just be a car ride away from each other, and we'll have to just make it work, and we just have to get through these next couple of months. It's like, but then again, I have to put myself in their shoes. They're kids in high school about to go away to college. They're in this relationship. They've had a lot of
and their
problems.
Parents are in a relationship.
Yeah, but I was also like, eh.
Yeah, I know. Their stories are lackluster in comparison to everything else.
Yeah.
Elsewhere, we have Blair finally arriving to the opera with her dad, and as she enters, she receives a phone call from Headmistress Queller, who informs her that Rachel did call her, stating that she cares about Blair, and, just because she got this B doesn't mean that she won't end up with an A for the semester, and have her not to worry. And of course, this makes Blair regret doing anything to her, and so she decides that she tells her dad she has to go and fix the wrongs that she's done. And so she goes to find Rachel, who is obviously unhappy with her and very hurt. And this scene, I felt zero pity for Blair, because she's trying to apologize, claiming that she's trying not to be a manipulative person, but in truly, she's not trying very hard, in my opinion.
So she had Carr go to a restaurant that was closed.
Mm-hmm.
And then
then she told her that the opera was at 8, when in reality it was at 7.
Right.
Yeah. So Carr is like, listen, little girl, this is bullshit. Your apology means nothing to me because and Blair's like, oh, I was just coming to get you. And she's like, oh, really? You were coming to get me? I don't believe anything that's coming out of your mouth. And so Blair's like, please accept my apology, in which Rachel does accept her apology. But as soon as Blair leaves, Rachel says, I don't want to come out. I'm too tired. What did she say? I'm quite tired?
I'm quite tired, in which I said, I have to start using quite.
I like quite as well. But she's like, I'm quite tired, Blair. I don't want to come to the opera with you now. So she has Blair leave, and she decides to call the headmistress to essentially tattletale on her about what had happened that night. This scene, I don't want to have to talk about, but unfortunately we do. After the whole adoption portion, Lily goes to the bathroom to reapply her lipstick, and is followed by Jack, who then locks the door on them. He is so angry, and he's high, and he's violent, and Lily's trying to explain to him that this was Chuck's decision, and Jack is not in a good frame of mind, and he's getting ready to, potentially rape Lily, which is absolutely awful. Dan and Rufus have a chat in which they can't find Lily, but they don't think anything of it. Then they see Chuck, who says that he saw Lily go to the bathroom, but that was a while ago. Goes over to the bathroom, notices that the door is locked, and everyone is online waiting to go in which this is a public bathroom. This is not a one-stall type of bathroom. And so he gets so nervous and upset, he goes to get, I guess, someone who works at the hall, and they bust in just in time, thank goodness, to save Lily from Jack. He pushes Jack to the couch, punches him, and Jack's escorted out. Rufus comes in, sees a disheveled and devastated Lily. He, comforts her, and they both thank Chuck for helping her, which I did like shed a tear a little bit. I was overwhelmed.
Yeah, this was such an anxious-ridden scene to watch. Anxiety-ridden.
Yeah, rather. Because you don't know where it's going to go.
Yeah, and the fact that also Chuck always seems to have this sixth sense.
Mm-hmm. Yes. Yeah, he generally does, which is such a great quality in him. He's very intuitive.
Yeah.
But also maybe not. I think he's very intuitive, and I think he picks and chooses when he wants to, like,
use it.
Yeah. So, like, when it comes to him and Blair, he's like, I don't want to go into my intuition or my feelings about this because they're too much. But when it comes to people that he cares about, like family, he's all on it. The next day, we have a scene at the Vanderwoodsons that Rufus and Lily are looking at the picture in the newspaper about them, and Rufus makes a joke that his hair is awful, and it was sweet. And so then Chuck comes in, and Rufus decides to leave, but before that, he shakes Chuck's hand on the way out, which I really loved.
Huge. Yeah,
huge. It's like much respect to you. Lily then has a conversation with Chuck that Jack is on his way back to Australia and that she didn't press charges on him because she just doesn't even care. She just wants him gone. And then she tells him that on his 18th birthday, she is going to give him the full company, just like how Bart wanted. And she also wants him to be a part of the family. And so Chuck then admits that he knows what happened to his father was an accident and he doesn't blame Lily for that. And of course, he wants to move back in. And of course, Lily accepts because this is what she wanted from the beginning. She just wants to take care of Chuck, which is... I love it.
Such a wonderful, sweet scene.
Yeah, I agree.
I love this.
To sum up the end of the episode, we have two scenes that happen. The first one I'll talk about is Blair. She's on the phone with Serena. She's stating that the headmistress wants to meet up with her, and she's thinking all positively about this. She goes to meet her, and Blair is told that she knows that Headmistress Queller knows what she did to Rachel and that her acceptance for Yale has been put on hold and she must go through detention and complete it the way that Queller wants her to. Otherwise, she's got no chance of going to Yale. And so Blair is absolutely shocked by this. I'm like, come on, Blair. You're really surprised?
I know, right?
So she walks out to see Dorota and Handsome, and she's like, Dorota. And Dorota knows. She's like, oh my God, Miss Blair, is it war? And Blair's like, oh yeah, it's war. So she's going to do anything in her power to, get rid of this Rachel. To sum up the rest, Blair on the phone with Serena. Serena is staring at a picture of her and Dan from Cotillion. And it's funny at this point, Gossip Girl is doing this voiceover of like things to end. And as voiceover is still happening, we go to the gallery/cafe where Dan is ignoring Serena's call because she does pick up the phone to call him. And he presses ignore. Right after that, Rachel shows up and tells him that she just decided to take his advice and come over to Brooklyn, in which he is happy to make her a cup of coffee. And they begin to chat. And really... that's the end of the episode. The end of the episode ends with the Blair scene, but I wanted to touch upon this last because I want to hear what you think about Rachel.
Well, when they first meet, Rachel Padge in the hallway with Serena in the beginning of the episode, and I think he's the one who mentions like, wow, you don't look much older than us.
Yes.
And she said, I'm not. You know, I did teach for America. I think she said in Alabama. Am I?
Yeah.
Well, okay. So she says she did teach for America, and she isn't much older. She's probably, what, in 20?
20.
If that. She would have to be 20, I'm assuming, right?
But like when you
2021,
when you graduate with your master's, let's just say, when you graduate from college, you're 21, 22, right?
Yeah.
So let's just say she's 21, 22.
But you can teach without your master's, right?
Right, you can teach.
While you're getting it.
Right. So maybe that's what she's doing.
So perhaps she's 21 and Dan is 17, 18?
To be 18 if he's not already.
Okay. I don't know why I always have a problem remembering how old everybody is in their senior year.
Senior year.
So then he says, oh, you should make your way out to Brooklyn. And she's like, oh, yeah, like that's across the bridge, right? And he's like, yeah. And so then for her to show up at the cafe and then take her coat off, and he's like, oh, let me make you a coffee. There is like this very subtle flirtation here.
Yeah, something's a little fishy about this.
And if you're a teacher, I don't care how young you are, and if you're close to the grade you're teaching, I don't know if I would be showing up where my student works, is associated with. Like, you don't shit where you eat, right?
Exactly.
You don't eat where you shit. What's the term?
Yeah, you don't shit where you eat. Yeah, that's it. You don't shit where you eat.
Because it's just inappropriate.
Right.
However, I do like how she did handle the Blair situation.
Yeah.
So that's neither here nor there, but I thought this was very interesting. And the fact what Gossip Girl was saying, I don't remember obviously verbatim, but some things happen so subtly you don't even realize.
Yes. So she's foreshadowing.
Yeah.
Or
clearly.
trying to shed some light on the fact that Rachel does purposely, come to the cafe to see Dan. So, yeah, I think it was very strange, for the students to recommend her coming to places that are of their home and comfort, and then B, the fact that she decides to take their advice on it. Like, I just thought that was really weird.
I mean, again, I get if you're lonely, you just moved here, but it's just inappropriate.
It's inappropriate. Yeah.
Yeah. But
that is where we end the episode. So I'm excited to read our questions and comments from everyone, and we'll come back in a few minutes.
Good morning, Kelsey. I've got to tell you about this Regency romance I just read.
Zoe, you're finished already?
Oh, I couldn't put it down. Have you read anything new?
Not since you asked me yesterday.
That's all right. I'll just find something I've read before.
But Zoe, haven't you read and reread hundreds of these books?
Well, they're my favorites. Far Off Places, Daring Damsels, True Love, and Dukes in Disguise.
Since we both love these books so much, what if we made a podcast?
Oh, but Kelsey.
I insist.
Well, all right. Let's do it.
Join us, real-life friends and real-life romance novel enthusiasts, every other week on Tea and Strumpets, a Regency romance review, as we discuss a book from our favorite genre and what makes it steamy or tepid.
And as the Regency period technically lasted only 9 years, generally we're talking post-wigs but pre-telephone.
So whether you're looking for a book to add to your to-be-read pile or you've read our choice already, we've got a little something for everyone.
Read along or just listen in. You can find us on your podcatcher of choice, and new episodes coming every other Thursday.
So we're back from break. We're going to start with our trivia. This episode title was based off of the movie You've Got Mail, which I spoke about last week. Literally one of my favorite movies.
Same.
Ever.
So good.
Such a good movie. If you haven't watched it, definitely put it on your list. Now that we're all quarantined, you're going to have plenty of time to watch anything. So definitely put it on your list.
Yes.
We have Blair's essay was written on January 23rd, 2009, and cites common attributes between Marta, from the works of James Joyce, and Holly Golightly from Breakfast at Tiffany's. Okay. Earlier in the episode, Roman says he heard Blair watching Gilmore Girls all night, and Blair said she's much better fit for Yale than Rory. Gilmore Girls was directed by Amy Sherman Palladino, who was actually lined up to direct Gossip Girl when it was supposed to be a movie.
What?
I know. Wouldn't that have been something different?
Oh my God. Amy is her and her husband are such interesting visionaries. This would be totally different.
It would be so different. It would be, it would be bizarre, I think. But music we had in this episode, The Double by We Fell to Earth, Mexican Dogs by Cold War Kids, Against Privacy by Cold War Kids, and Der Hol Rachkoch in Mine Hers by Vienna Philharmonic Orchestra.
There it is.
There it is. We haven't had a concerto or anything in so
I miss
long.
the concertos.
Same. Okay, so we're going to go into our questions on Instagram and Twitter. I'm very excited.
Me too.
Jess said, Mrs. Boquist on Instagram said, tonight was so much fun. Thanks for setting up the Netflix party. I love Charles and Lily. All the kid relationships bugged me in this episode. What are Michelle's initial thoughts on Miss Carr? And her MVP was Lily, shittiest is Blair, XOXO Jess. So we kind of touched upon it before we broke about how you felt about Miss Carr. So we can...
I will say this, even though I feel what she's doing is inappropriate, I'm here for it because let's get some drama.
Yeah, like let's stir up the pot with... But then again, it's like we just did that. I know,
and I don't really want to see Paige and Serena go through this whole spiral shit again.
Right, however, it was like, why did we come back to do this again?
No, you're absolutely right. I want drama.
Yeah, well, drama doesn't mean it's Gossip Girl. You got to have it. So
yeah.
Muse Chick on Instagram, our friend Vic says, oh my God, I want Serena's gray coat. So cute. Lily and Rufus sneaking around. So awkward with Eric there. Haha. I liked seeing Nate and Paige talking, but would have wanted to see when they're actually starting to talk again.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, the development of getting back into friendship again. Funny Blair was all wanting to hurt Nellie, but then when she found out it was Serena, she actually looked worried and asked her why she would turn down Yale. I love that Lily adopted Chuck to help him. I hope they get closer. I am so happy he saved her. I was so scared for Lily. I love the moment between them and glad he is moving in. MVP is Lily for adopting Chuck. Do you think Serena and Paige can actually make it work? With separate universities, Lily and Rufus, and what is going on with Miss Carr, is she going to be a problem? If you didn't want to go to the same school as your boyfriend, how would you tell them? Okay, so we'll go into, do you think that Serena and Paige can actually make it work given, their family relationship and Carr and everything that's going on?
Short answer. Okay, wait. Let me back up. I think they could make it work if the whole Carr situation wasn't happening because I think the family thing they could get over. I truly believe that because if Jenny and Eric are getting along and their parents are happy and now Charles is involved, why? I mean, it's like finally a kind of a stable family environment. And it's kind of awkward, but I think they would move past that.
Right.
However, the whole college thing and Carr and just changes being a senior and them just being them, will they make it? No.
Okay.
In fact, I can't wait until they end, because I don't believe that they're endgame. I actually don't know if they end up together.
Okay.
So I am truthfully in the blind here and hoping that they don't.
Right. Same. Yeah. But she also asked, if you didn't want to go to the same school as your boyfriend, how would you tell them?
Ooh, that's a really, really tough. It would probably turn into an awkward conversation, which would turn into a fight, and then a lot of crying, and then a lot of emotions being said, and finally we get to the end result because we're both exhausted.
Yeah.
I mean, how would you say that? Like, I don't think it's a good idea, and then you're like, why isn't it a good idea? You know what I mean?
Yeah. I mean, but in Serena's defense, she just feels like Yale is not her cup of tea.
yeah, I don't think it has anything to do with Patch in this scenario.
Same.
I think she knows Yale wants her for all the wrong reasons, and she never even wanted to go there.
Yeah.
It was her spite school.
Right. One person's dream is not necessarily, the next person. So
yeah, regardless
are different.
Regardless of the status of the school,
Yeah. Right.
Yeah.
We have Del_Vasto, our friend Michael on Instagram. He says, "Hey, happy Netflix party and recording night. I don't have any comments about tonight's episode, but I do have a few questions. Lily took care of Uncle Jack. Michelle, do you think we'll see him again? If so, will it be this season or in future seasons?"
I don't think we will see him because she said he's on a plane to New Zealand, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Australia. Sydney.
Oh,
he lives in Sydney.
Oh, Sydney. I don't know why I kept thinking New Zealand. So I think he's probably gone, and maybe he'll show up in a future episode for funsies.
In this season, though, or in a few seasons to come? Okay.
A couple of seasons. Maybe when Chuck turns 18 and he gets the company.
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
He also asked if you were the teacher. I don't remember her last name, but I think her first name is Rachel. How would you have handled a student like Blair?
Yeah, probably the same way.
Yeah, you have to put your foot down. You cannot let them walk all over you, regardless of how much fight they have and, who they are. But
it's one thing if Blair came to me and was like, "You don't understand how it works here. I need to maintain my GPA so I can get into Yale." And if it ended there, I would go to the headmistress and be like, "Listen, give me some background on this student. What can I do here? Can I help?" Right? If it ended there, that's what I would do. But if they went the next step to get revenge on me, oh, fuck that.
Right? Totally. I would literally kill her.
This is not how this works.
Yeah. Finally, he says, if you got waitlisted from your dream school and your best friend got in, would you ask him or her to decline, knowing that their dream school is another school? Or would you say nothing and hope they decline on their own? If the roles were reversed and you, like Serena, declined, knowing that that was your best friend's dream school. Also, side note, and maybe a plot hole, a few episodes back when Nellie thought Jenny was coming back to be queen, she tried to get on her good side, but if Nellie is in her last year, why does she care? All right, so we'll go back to, if you had a friend or if you were the person that got waitlisted and your friend got into your dream school, but you knew that they didn't want to go to your dream school, would you ask them to decline it?
Ooh.
I don't think I would.
I don't think I would, depending on who the person was and our rapport with each other. Because I feel I'm very fortunate to have, I have like my core best friend squad, right? Mm-hmm. And Liz is a part of it. And if you got into a school, right, in this scenario, maybe I would have a conversation with you just so I can express my emotional thoughts.
Yeah.
And maybe I'd be like, listen, I'm not going to ask you to decline your acceptance, but if you truly feel that you're going to change your mind, is this something you would do? And then I know if this wasn't my dream, I would probably decline for a best friend.
Yeah, I would too.
Because why waste it?
Right.
Like, I don't want it. This is not what I want.
Yeah, but like, here's the kicker though. What if you didn't hear from any other schools yet? Like, Serena, this is the first school that everyone's been hearing back from.
Right.
So how does Serena know that she's going to get into another?
I mean, maybe Serena has this, as naive sometimes she is, she also has this like unblind confidence, where she just exceeds, and maybe she knows, well, if I got into Yale with my socialite status, why couldn't I get into another school? And I have money, and maybe you just have that kind of air about you in that kind of position.
Right.
Blair is freaking out because one, it's her dream school, and two, she has no backup.
Right. She didn't apply anywhere else. Like no safety schools, nothing. So yeah, if I was Serena and I heard that my best friend didn't get into Yale and didn't apply anywhere else and this is her dream, I probably would have denied my acceptance as well.
What do you do though? Here's the other kicker. What do you do to tell your parents that?
I know.
Yeah.
I feel like my parent, I don't know. Would they be proud of me or would they be really disappointed? I don't know.
I feel like they'd be like, you don't have another plan or a backup. What the hell is wrong with you?
Right.
They'd be like, listen, I want to go to this school. This is my dream school. I'm going to do everything I can to get into it.
Right. But I guess if like you were Lily, you know your daughter's like a shoo-in for any place. So you're
True.
like, oh, it's fine.
True.
You know? But
yeah.
To go back to his other question about Nellie, he says that it must be a plot hole that Nellie, wants to be under Penelope's or Blair's, I guess, wing because she's still in school. But if she's a senior, like, why would she care?
Well, wouldn't she still want to be with the cool kids? Because in the beginning of the episode, Harold says they have about 6 months until college starts, or Blair says it.
Right. Yeah, so maybe she's like, well, I still have all these months left of school. I'd rather not be bullied or... Yeah. Well, even though she pretty much is hazed by her own, quote, friends, but, whatever.
So bad.
He also finishes it with, I thought she was in her last year because she took the SATs, and don't you take them in your last year? He says, we don't have SATs. He's from Canada, so he says, we don't have SATs, so I don't know how it works. I just find it weird that she's going through initiation when she was about to graduate. Maybe Liz or her sister can shed some light on that. That's all I have for this week. I had a blast chatting with everyone during the Netflix party. For those of you who are on the fence about joining Patreon, do it. It's so worth it. Can't wait for next week, Michael.
Michael, our PR guy.
Thank you so much. Yeah, I guess, like we just said, I feel like she probably just wanted to survive her last few months. Like, I understand. So, in the United States, you can take your SATs in. I think I took mine my junior and my senior year. Or no?
No, I think I took the...
Was it PSATs in your junior year?
Yeah. And then the SATs, I think I only took them once, actually.
I took my SATs twice, and both times were awful.
Yeah. And at the time, I knew where I was going to go, and I was like, it doesn't matter.
Same. We also have questions or comments from our friend Allie on Instagram. She's under Allie_Luna28. She says, this has always been one of my favorite episodes. Can we talk about Rufus and Lily disturbing Eric with their ferocious lovemaking? LOL. Your room is right above mine. Initial thoughts on the new teacher. I thought it was a bit inappropriate for Dan to tell her she looked like a student. Yeah, I think that's inappropriate too. Like, I get it. Like, that's your initial thought, but you don't say it.
Yes, it's inappropriate.
Yeah, and like for the fact that I would have been like pissed if I'm already annoyed when people think I'm younger than I am. So the fact that like you calling me looking like a student to my face, I think I would have been really upset. Because like we did have teachers in high school that looked so young that you could pass them up as a student, but like you talk about it behind them, you don't talk about it in front of them.
Was it? Did you have Mr. Macarius? Was that his name?
Yes, I did have him actually for like study hall or something like that.
Yeah, and he, I think, was 23 years old.
Yeah, he was a baby when I first had him. And so Grasso was just coming out of his residency or whatever when I just had him. Like, everyone was babies. Wow. She also says, I always appreciated how sweet Lily is to Chuck, even though he's still being a bit snotty towards her. But I like them joining forces. Serena clearly doesn't want to go to Yale. This is why her and Dan keep having issues, because they don't know how to talk about things until they blow up. Does Dan have a right to be mad, though? Did you catch it? Did you catch it, though? He does say, we've been talking about this for months. And I'm like, but you've only been back together for like weeks. So how could you be talking about it for months?
Yeah, but they also were kind of like weird friends.
Yeah, I guess that's true.
I think if my significant other, I think I would be bummed.
Yeah, I would be like, oh, wow, you didn't actually express to me that you don't want to go there.
Yeah.
I would be sad about that. But I still want them to be happy and go where they want to.
No, of course.
Yeah. He got over it quickly, though. She says the whole Nate and Vanessa opera thing was cute. I would have taken the damn box, though. Serena's opera dress was to die for. The whole situation with Blair setting up Miss Carr was a hot mess. I don't know why she felt the need to do that, especially since Miss Carr was just looking out for Blair. Shaking my head. The whole situation with Lily and Jack in the bathroom was mortifying and scary. Thank God Chuck showed up when he did. My reaction when Rachel shows up at the gallery was just eyeballs. The email's from our buddy Sean, season 2, episode 16.
Exciting.
Hey, listen, Michelle. Thank you guys for the wonderful group hang tonight. It was so much fun watching an episode with everyone. This episode felt a little weird to me because it's the end of the Jack vs. Chuck story arc and then starts to set up the Miss Carr story arc. I mentioned this in the Netflix party, but sometimes the writing on this show seems weird. They try to make some characters sound so intellectual and sophisticated, but we know that no one really talks like that.
Yeah, quite.
It's fine in writing because we can't actually see the characters. We have to rely on the things they say and what others say about them. But on TV, we can see everyone. We can kind of tell that this person is an intellect or a savvy or an athlete partially by their looks. On TV, I believe that everyone should speak normally and their actions and appearances can help set up their personalities.
True, yeah.
Okay, last thing. I want to be able to talk about the books that Gossip Girl is based on, but the books are so widely different from the show that it won't spoil anything about the show. Like the pilot episode of the series covers the entirety of the first book. There are characters in the books who share names with characters on the show, but they have different looks, are related to different people, are used in completely different ways, or they just don't exist. They are really quick reads, and I would recommend them to everyone in self-isolation and self-quarantine who is looking for something different to read. I'm not saying they're the greatest things in the world, but they are weird and fun to read. XOXO, Sean.
Oh, I love that. We hope you're doing well. We miss you, buddy. Yes,
definitely. That is all the questions that we have. So thank you, everyone, for sending them. So much fun. Let's go into our fashion headband counter.
Headbands. I had 4.
You had 4?
Yeah.
I had so many.
Really? And I promise you, like, it's not that I forgot. As soon as the episode started, I was like, okay, because I always, at the top of my page, I have my headband counter, and I was trying to count them all in the background, plus Blair's Pretty Blue one at the opera.
I know, I love that one. I had like 15.
Whoa!
Yeah, because there was a bunch in the beginning scenes, like all in the background of girls. But some of them, I was like, I don't know if I'm repeating them because a lot of the girls did look like familiar.
Yeah, because there was a lime green one that appeared a couple of times.
Yeah, like a bright yellow.
Yeah,
color. Yeah. So I might be overshotting it. But I also really love to see Serena's hair so straight with like those knotted braid thing in it that she wore like pretty much this whole episode.
Did we discuss this last episode? Did she get a haircut or are her extensions out?
I think her extensions came out,
okay.
To be honest.
Okay.
What else did you like for fashion?
I loved Chuck's blush sweater and plaid coat.
Love that. With his pink socks, as Chloe pointed out in the chat.
Yes. I love all of the Minions coats.
Me too. And Blair's black and white plaid coat. I loved that coat.
Yep. I love Serena's dress at the opera. I love it.
Yeah, I also loved Blair's dress at the opera.
Oh my God, that was
beautiful.
Gorgeous.
And I just loved it with the headband. It was beautiful. And then it wasn't really long. It was actually short. Because when you see her run past, we have a funny quick scene of her running past Chuck while he's drinking at the bar. You can see like her legs, like it was a short dress.
I also love that they gave us that scene.
Yeah, like that they were both in the same room.
Yeah.
But like not even paying attention to each other. I also like that.
Yeah. I also liked Chuck's bow tie.
The polka dotted bow tie?
Yeah.
I love that.
It.
I also really liked Blair's flowy plaid shirt. I don't know necessarily if I loved it tucked into the plaid skirt that didn't match.
Yeah.
But I really liked the shirt itself.
I liked Lily's white teacup.
I loved Lily's big ass earrings. They were like huge.
So good.
I think that's all I have.
Yeah, I think so too.
Quotes. Oh, I am so a better fit for Yale than that Rory. I thought that was, as soon as we open up the episode, I'm like, yes, Gilmore Girls.
Yale is good. We're good. Serena.
I would say get a room, but yours is right above mine. Please try to remember that.
The kids know, so why not the world?
Or when Dan says death by Dorota.
Yes. Cafeteria lady who won the lottery.
The Bass jet is kind of expensive, Charles.
Oh my God, I loved that. Number 26, crashed Jack in a plane.
Yeah. You know how he loves a good tragedy.
Poison pen is the best revenge.
Yes, Gossip Girl. I love that. Time to get dirty. I'm all ears.
I'm quite tired.
Opera for amateurs. I loved that.
I just ordered a home dreadlocking kit.
That was so good. It's like so brown. Like, oh, I'm going to do dreadlocks. And then I love that whole scene that I didn't write it down, but like, I don't know if they're talking about like tempeh or something like that. And Blair's like, oh, we'll go get you like a tempeh sandwich. I just thought it was so funny.
Yeah, because she's going to become a vegan.
I hate losing. I can't not act out towards people.
Yeah, okay, so that was when we saw Blair be so vulnerable, and at least she owned up to herself. Like, I'm trying my best. I'm sorry, but I don't know how to be any other version of myself.
Yeah.
But I'm also like, you need to grow up, honey.
Same. I was saying in the chat, like, they make it so dramatic with this, like, really sad music, and, like, you're supposed to feel really bad for Blair. And I'm like, I don't feel bad for her at all. She's just a child. She just needs to learn her lesson.
Yeah.
If you care about your hair, you are more part of my world than ever. They were looking at the magazine, and Rufus didn't like the way his hair looked. I thought that was funny. That's all I have for quotes.
Yes, same.
Gonna go into MVP and shittiest.
Yep.
Okay, MVP on 1, 3?
Yeah, on 1.
3, 2, 1. Lily. Yes, unanimous. I mean, everyone in the chat, everyone that sent us questions, everyone said that they loved Lily in this episode. She helped Chuck out with whatever he needed. She just wanted him to come home, which was so sweet. And I love that she looked Jack right in the eyes and said, I'm not afraid of you. I was like, yes, hunty.
Yes, I love that. And I also love how happy and confident she is in her relationship, and the fact that she's going to bring Rufy to a social event after everyone is saying like, oh, I hope you're doing okay with grieving.
Yeah. So
and
true.
Maybe that's distasteful, but also I'm like, no, she's been waiting so long to be with the love of her life.
Right.
And also the fact that she went through with the adoption with Charles. She didn't have to do that. And the fact of, she said, like, not for nothing, but this is actually what Bart and I were planning. He was going to adopt my kids, and I was going to adopt Chuck. And just because Bart's not here anymore, I'm still going through with this because I want to.
Yes. So good. Love it. Shittiest.
Yes.
3, 2, 1. Jack.
Blair.
Ooh.
Jack. Good one. Jack is definitely someone I also was going to choose.
It goes without saying for him. But I love that you picked Blair. I actually was going to put her as my blue ribbon for shittiest because she was just so damn petty in this episode. I couldn't even take it.
I mean, I get that her dream is coming to a halt and she's spiraling and she has to resort to her old ways of being Blair and getting revenge, but I'm happy that you're not going to get it. I know she's going to come back with war, but it's like you can't always get your way. And there's so many times she hasn't gotten her way. And I felt like sometimes we see growth from her and then we don't.
I know. It sucks. I really wish she would just continue to go up.
Yeah.
But she just takes a couple of steps back sometimes, which really, it stinks to watch her.
It does. Yeah.
Yeah. All right. I think we can do Patron of the Week.
Yes, please.
It's Patron of the Week.
Patron of the Week.
It's Patron of the Week. Who will it be?
It's Patron of the Week.
Patron of the Week this week is a newcomer to our network. We're so happy to have her. Her name is Ava.
Ava.
Yes, she's from San Fran. And she has brightened up our day with her emails that she sent us. And I called her Sunny Ava.
I love it. So
because
sweet.
I feel like once she pledged, it was a great time. We actually had a couple of new pledges this week, which I would definitely shout you guys out.
We're so thankful. It
Insane.
means so much.
Yeah. but when we got the email back from Ava and she was telling us how she loves the OC and she's rewatching One Tree Hill just to listen to Treehill Talk and she listens to Gossip Girl. Like she's really, truly a part of our family now. And so happy to have you pledge Sunny Ava. So thank you.
Thank you, Ava.
All right, Michelle, it's that time of the episode where I
Yes, girlfriend.
give you the title for next week's episode, and you'll let me know what you think is going to happen.
Okay.
Season 2, episode 17, Carnal Knowledge. I know. Doesn't really give you much.
Well, okay, so I feel that where we left off, that Blair is definitely going to seek revenge, and it's going to be her number one mission to take down Carr.
Right.
And I think that this might get in the way if Serena finds out, because Serena obviously is Team Rachel and Padge is kind of Team Rachel.
Totally.
He's just not aware that he's Team Rachel yet.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I think that's going to become an awkward situation because maybe she's going to show up to the cafe, or maybe we'll see them talking in the halls, or maybe I was going to say when they eat lunch, but we don't really see them eat lunch. Do they eat lunch together?
They don't really eat much lunch.
They don't eat much lunch.
They eat yogurt breakfast on the Met steps, but they don't really eat much lunch.
Yeah. But I think definitely stuff is going to happen there, and there's going to be 3 parties involved. Obviously, Serena's going to get pissed at Blair. I can see her getting weirdly annoyed with Padge, and I could see this going on for like 2 to 3 episodes.
Okay.
You know, the takedown of her.
Right.
And then Chuck, I can't wait to see him moving back in with Lily, and I hope him and Serena have like a sweet moment. I hope him and Eric have a sweet hug moment, like glad to have you back, brother, or something like that.
Right.
I mean, as far as that goes, now that Jack is out of the picture, or so I'm hoping, and Chuck is back with Lily. And now I want to use Charles because Lily calls him Charles,
I love it.
but I feel like I'm not worthy enough. So Chuck, he kind of now has a clean slate.
Right. Exactly.
Like, what is the next story for you? And is he going to college? I don't remember.
We don't know. Truly, we don't really know where anyone has applied or if they have applied, because
Just
we're really
Yale.
just
The Yale
focusing
folks.
on, we've only focused on Yale, and we only really know that Blair, Serena, and Dan have applied, but like we don't know what Nate's planning on doing, what Vanessa's planning on doing, Chuck.
Yeah. Okay.
So
Yeah. So I think maybe I don't know. I don't know what we're gonna do with Chuck. I mean, are we gonna do more with Blair? But I feel like Blair's gonna be pretty preoccupied with taking down Carr.
yeah.
That I can't see her getting involved with Chuck right now.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe we'll see Chuck and Nate hanging out more to bond. Maybe Chuck and Padge will be kind of awkward towards each other because what else do they know? You know?
Yep.
I don't know. And then who am I missing? Jenny? Maybe we'll see her at school because we didn't see her this time at school.
I know. She was only in one scene this episode.
Not that I really need to see some Jenny drama, but
Right.
we could see you. We can see you around. Make a presence.
Yeah. What about Lily and Rufus? Are they continuing?
Yeah, for sure. They're going to continue being sweet and shacking up together, and yeah.
Right. Okay.
Also, what month was this?
This is, well, we're watching it in January, so
Right. Okay.
doesn't really give much.
No. Okay. Just trying to see, like, and 6 months till school.
Yeah,
I mean,
so
till
maybe
college.
roughly 6-ish months, because 6 months would be like July, right? If we're in January.
I guess so, yeah.
So maybe 5-ish months. I mean,
Yeah.
they
Maybe
don't really
February?
tell you. Yeah, maybe we're in February.
Yeah, because you usually go back to school in August, so maybe they're in February.
Yeah,
It doesn't
that's
matter.
true.
Just trying to have a point
Totally.
of time.
Right. I know. We always like harp on dates and times and things. So,
Mhm.
all right. So, with all of the information you have, do you have a prediction on who Gossip Girl could be?
Sure, it's Penelope. Always just feeling it's Penelope in terms of, even again, I don't think she is Gossip Girl, but she's working for her.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
I know it's kind of boring. I just don't really have, can't even come up with a good reason to pick anybody else.
I know. But I can give you like a little like hope.
Nugget?
Yeah. By the end of this season, you're going to have a big Gossip Girl blast. So I feel like you're going to be able to like be like, oh shit, what's going to happen with this?
Okay, that's exciting. I like to hear that.
Just like a little, got to give you something to be excited for, you know?
Well, I am excited. I'm definitely enjoying where everything is going. I feel like I'm enjoying season 2 way more than 1.
Yeah, I agree.
And that's natural to happen because of character development. We're learning how these people are. And I just love Lily. So
love Lily.
Yeah.
Love. She truly, I mean, it took a few episodes in the beginning to warm up to her, but as soon as you do, she just gets better, I think.
Yes, she's evolving beautifully.
Yeah, agreed. All right, well, thank you to everyone who joined our Netflix party. We had so much fun. We're going to continue doing that each week. I mean, even after the quarantine, I'm hopeful to continue still doing this because it was so much fun. And it's like we brought back our sip and watches. So definitely want to keep incorporating that. If you're interested, you go to patreon.com/ittakes3network and join our little community. You can get bonus goodies and behind the scenes stuff. You get the episode a day early, and you can join our Netflix party for Gossip Girl. And if you want to reach out to us on social media, we're 3 Gossip Girls Pod on everything. We also have a Gmail account. You can reach out to us there. We love getting emails. And if you want to leave us a review on iTunes, we would really appreciate that. Let us know how you're liking the show. And we'll see you guys or talk to you guys next week for season 2, episode 17. We are getting down to the wire here.
Ooh,
it's crazy.
So exciting.
You know you love us.
XOXO.
Gossip Girls.